Oh my goodness, San Antonio Spurs fans, we are getting rumors left and right about our Spurs, and this latest one is kind of a doozy.
Go Spurs, go, 'cause the Giants stink.
What is up, San Antonio Spurs fans? Welcome to TSR Sports. Caught this article last night. I was like, oh my goodness, I have to do a video on this. And usually I don't like doing these rumor videos too much, but it's been a lot of fun seeing the comments just blow up and how interested or upset or whatever it is in between about what players may be coming to San Antonio to play with Wemby. And in this one, Trae Young apparently not the guy the Spurs want. Some of you want him, some don't. But this article saying from fan-sided that, nope, this is not the guy. And actually, I'm seeing a lot of websites report on this. So while I'm doing so, drop a comment down below. Are you happy to see that the Spurs probably don't want Trae Young? But what about them possibly wanting the other guard in Atlanta, DeJounte Murray? Seeing some eyeballs now saying the Spurs actually may want their old starting point guard back. How would you feel about that? Let me know. Hit that thumbs up, support the channel, and subscribe to become part of our awesome Spurs community. Let's get into the article from Fansided, who really did some disrespect to our Spurs in the player ranking. That's neither here nor there right now. There has been a lot of buzz connecting the Spurs to veteran point guards this summer. Oh my gosh, there's been a ton already here in the last week. The Atlanta Hawks are widely expected. I don't know what happened there. My apologies. The Atlanta Hawks are widely expected to shop at least one of their guards this offseason. Trae Young and DeJounte Murray are both potentially up for grabs, and according to NBC Sports' Kurt Heelan, the Spurs front office has a preference. League sources have told NBC Sports not to bet on that happening, as San Antonio doesn't see Trae Young as a fit with Wemby going forward. The Spurs might be more interested in the Hawks' DeJounte Murray if he's available. Well, I certainly think he's probably going to be available. The Murray and Young connection just is not working in Atlanta. It ain't working, time to break it up, and I think they're going to. Let's get into the article, Spurs fans and Hawks fans, viewers up in him. Trae Young is better than DeJounte Murray by a considerable margin. He is also a much cleaner fit next to Wemby. That makes San Antonio's thinking on the situation a bit confounding. Murray makes less money and could be appealing for financial reasons, but Young is the blatantly more impactful and influential teammate. He would elevate the Spurs' role players and create countless easy looks for Wemby working out of the pick and roll. I agree with some of that. San Antonio traded Murray to the Hawks 2 years ago, a trade the Spurs won convincingly. Oh my goodness, did we ever. 2 first-round picks, 25 and 27, a pick swap in 26, and I think we also got Charlotte's protected first-round pick, which is just going to be turned into a second-round pick. So, yes, we definitely won that trade. Bringing Murray back wouldn't cost as much as the outgoing price. No, we're not. Murray would look better as the Spurs' primary ball handler than he does shoehorn in next to Trae Young, but the opposite is true too. Young would look better freed from Murray's encroaching presence to the Atlanta backcourt. We just mentioned it's not working for them both being on the court at the same time. Murray offers size and defense like Young never can. This is true. Young's one of the worst defenders in the NBA. But the offensive disparity is vast. Young is one of the most creative playmakers in the NBA. Say what you will about his demeanor or his persona, which you guys have said. Not a big fan of. I haven't heard too much of that outside from you guys, but sounds like his personality is a big no for you guys. But Young's ability to manipulate defense with his handle rifle passes with either hand is matched only by a select few. Young also stretches the defense with deep three-point range, a constant pull-up threat as soon as he crosses half court. And yes, I have seen those long threes, but I only see Atlanta twice a year. Is he as good as their advertising, or are they overhyping Trae Young's ability a bit? Let me know. The appeal of Murray is difficult to understand by comparison. That's not to say Murray wouldn't look great next to Wemby, as most point guards would, but his shot profile is worse than Young's, and he generally doesn't create as many advantages with his handle or his passing. Murray's frame does give him an advantage around the rim, being a better finisher. All right, a lot to unpack here, Spurs fans. First off, DeJounte Murray will be 28 next year. He's got 4 more years on his contract, 25, 27, 29, 31. So he's a little older than Trae Young, but he does have a much smaller contract. I think by the end of Trae Young's contract, he's going to be pushing over $50 million, so there's a big difference there. In 78 games for the Hawks this year, he played 78 games, and he shot 46, 36, 79, while averaging 22.5 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and about 1.5 steals. The positive with DeJounte, besides having the friendlier contract and would probably cost us less to bring him back to San Antonio, is he's bigger, plays much better defense, he knows the Spurs system, and he knows some of the players already. And there's that good contract. I may have said contract multiple times, but I think that's something the Spurs might look at and just how much you're going to have to give up for either player. That being said, the big negative and the big obvious negative to DeJounte Murray immediately is the way he left. He said some bad things about our San Antonio Spurs, and he seemed quite bitter when he was traded. I don't want to give him too much of a pass on that. I understand probably loved San Antonio, thought he was going to be the guy, the franchise, and right after the first year, he's the guy. You're out of here. You're fired. So if he was to come back to the Spurs, I hope there's some kind of apology. It doesn't have to be windy or just, really lengthy. Just something like, hey, I'm sorry about some of the things I said when I left. I loved being in San Antonio, and I'm looking so forward to being back here again and building something special with the team. Just something, something telling the fans, something heartfelt. I saw this trade by Air Alamo over the last few days, and I want to get your take on that. If the Spurs would bring back DeJounte Murray, what would it cost us? We get DJ. They get Keldon Johnson. Why are we always trading Keldon? Atlanta's 2025 first-round pick, which this is a draft that's supposed to be really good. So I'm not sure if I'm too crazy about that. And then Charlotte's first, which will, whatever. That thing's worth nothing. I'm kind of torn on this. I'm really torn, Spurs fans, because point guard certainly seems to be a place where we could use an upgrade. Trae Jones has certainly been very serviceable, a good teammate, and I just feel like he's a better backup. If we're not going to do Trae Young, would DeJounte Murray be the option? Or are they going to draft a point guard? And this is what's so fun about these Spurs rumors that are flying about, because we just don't know what they're going to do. They have a lot of options. For all we know, they could have 2 first-round picks in this upcoming draft. We don't know for sure. I saw a mock draft that one of you recommended to me where they had the Spurs, their own pick, dropping to 6. And then we got the Raptors' 7th pick because the Raptors dropped to 7th. And in that scenario, I think they had Memphis winning like a top pick, which I didn't like. Memphis does not need any help, but they had Memphis as like a top 3 pick. But that being said, if the Spurs got 2 first-round or 2 lottery picks, and let's say at the 6th, they did take, in this mock draft, Nikola Topic, and then the 7th, Zachary Rasache. Do we even need to make a trade? I don't know. But it's going to be crazy up until the NBA, until the lottery. I think we're going to have a bajillion rumors until, May 12th? I think we find out where we pick in the lottery. And then between that and the actual draft, there'd be a million rumors, there'd be a million after that. And you know what? Anything that looks like it has a little substance, some gravitage. I'm seeing a lot of sites reporting on this about the Spurs not being interested in Trae Young and possibly DeJounte. Is like, you know what? It looks like if there's some smoke and there's some fire, then we're going to cover it here on TSR Sports. And one of the big reasons I love covering this type of stuff is you guys interact with these videos more than probably anything else on the channel right now, because I don't know, but it seems you guys are excited about what's going to happen next with our team. Who are we going to draft? How many are we going to draft? Are we going to make a big trade? What are we going to do? I don't know. What I do know is Wemby is going to be a phenomenal player to build around. The question is, who are we going to build around him with? Guess we'll find out in the next couple months. Until then, I thank you all for tuning in. As always, go Spurs, go.
Wemby.